Okay. So, can we start?
Okay.
Okay. Hello and good evening. My name is Ahmad Zikry bin Hafiz. I am from KPMSI and I am taking a diploma in English communication. Here I'm with my partner. Kimi, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Umairul Hakimi. I am also from College Professional Marasir Iskandar, and I'm here with Zikry to interview about uh, the English pragmatic. Is it right, Zikry?
Yes. So for today's topic, it will be an interview about someone that is different from our culture. So we're here with our interviewee today. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello, good evening. I'm Michael Morales. I'm from Philippines. So I'm working here in Malaysia since 2012.
2012. Oh, I see. So is it okay if we call you Michael?
Yes.
Michael, can you tell us a little more about your background?
Okay. I'm from the Philippines, on the capital city, Manila. So I went to Malaysia on the year 2012 to work here. So as of now, I'm working at Maybank.
Oh, you're working at Maybank. I see. So, um, how long have you been working at Maybank for?
I think 11 years plus.
11.
My first 3 years I was on CIMB.
Oh, I see.
I went to Maybank.
And then you went to Maybank.
Yeah,
Oh, I see. Okay.
but in the Philippines, I work also on a bank. Yeah, we call it BPI, Bank of the Philippine Islands. So my background is most on banking industry.
Banking industry.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I think, Kimi, do you have any question that you want to ask?
Yes, I have several questions. In Malaysia, here, how will
Mhm.
you describe the company culture in the place where you're working right now?
Actually, the company culture here is very different from our country in the Philippines. Since this is a multiracial country, so I encountered many different types and personalities. So I already experienced having a different uh, boss, I mean culture and religions regarding to my colleagues and boss. So they have different strategies and how to handle work. So what I can say is it's a different adjustment for me when I arrived here in Malaysia.
Oh, all right. What is your experience do you have growing up trying to overcome the language barrier with when you work in Philippines and in you work in Malaysia?
Actually, in Philippines, I think I don't have any language. I can say I don't have language barrier there because growing up in Manila, most of the language there is Tagalog or English. So, like Malaysia, we also have different dialects, but different dialects is seldom used in Manila area. So it's more on the provinces. So growing up is, I think it's okay. But for me, if you ask me, language barrier in Malaysia, well, working in a bank, actually we are working on the back end of the bank. It's not, we're not dealing with customers in front. So mostly it's okay because mostly we talk using English dialect. So it's okay. I think no barriers also. But sometimes when locals here are discussing with themselves, they're talking with the Bahasa or Chinese or Indian dialects. Sometimes I don't understand.
Hmm.
So I think that's the one.
Okay. Now I think Zikri, let's go on with the question.
Okay, so let's begin with the real question that we're here for. So, Michael, when you're working in my bank, do you have a specific kind of way you like to communicate with your coworker?
Specific way. Actually, we're communicating using English language. So I think I cannot think any other way of communicate with my coworkers because mostly they understand also English and they talk fluent English as well. So I think I cannot think any specific way.
So there's actually no problem with
Oh,
you trying to communicate with your
yeah,
with mm,
yeah,
because a lot of them use English and you also
oh, yeah,
you can communicate in English well, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for the second question, do you happen to encounter any challenges when you're trying to communicate with young people who like frequently use their slang as part of their culture?
Mm, Actually, here in Malaysia, I haven't encountered communicating with the what do you call this with the young ones here. So mostly I talk with my coworkers only, and if not coworkers, my fellow Filipinos working also in my industry. So I think there are no challenges yet I encountered, but I heard some Gen Z and slang words, but haven't encountered it.
You haven't encountered
Yeah,
anything,
yeah,
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 any
yeah.
challenges whatsoever. I
Mm.
see. Keep so back to you, Kimi, the questions.
So, talking about challenge you encountered, uh, if you hear any slang that you didn't understand, do you ask your friends who also your coworker, or do you just let it go in the way of your understanding?
I think sometimes I encountered slang when having a message on WhatsApp.
Yes.
They sometimes they put it on a short phrases. So
Hmm.
sometimes I don't understand. So I just ask my colleagues and friends what's the meaning of that. So I don't assume anything on that one unless I confirm what's the meaning of the word or the sentences.
Uh, for the third question, what is your perspective on how body language affect interaction and conversation? Like when you're talking to like coworker or customer in bank, how does uh, body language affect the way of understanding in the both of you?
For me, body language it's greatly affects how a person interact and exchange conversation, especially if there's a language barrier. You by doing body language, you can point out or express what you need to say. So it's even though that someone you are talking to is not fluent or not cannot understand English, they can still understanding it by giving some body language of what do you want to express to that person.
Oh, all right. Do you recall any misinterpretation by using body language? Like when you didn't understand their body language, you misinterpret it as other meaning. Have you encountered any like that?
Actually, yes, I encountered, especially when I first come here in Malaysia. So
Oh,
I think because some of the body language here is new to me. Like if
mm,
you point something, you're using your thumb, right? Close fist, and you point with the thumb. But in the Philippines, we are pointing with the index finger. So that's new to me as well. So
mm,
another example is when we eat on the restaurant. I think when you call for the menu, you will sign like this one, right? Or
yes.
yeah, this one, right? Menu,
Yes.
fair one.
We also do like that, and we just just
Ah,
click
yeah,
our.
that one menu. But for in the Philippines, it's a receipt. So we are requesting for the receipt. So yeah. But for this one, I think receipt is like that, right? Like you're signing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Probably.
think yeah, I think it depends on the culture. Yeah, I if you ask me, I encountered some instances I misinterpreted the gestures. So,
Okay.
hmm. But if
Okay,
I
thank you.
misinterpret it, I ask them I ask them what's the meaning of that one.
Okay. Zikri?
All right. So moving on, let's go to the fifth question. Michael, how do you approach on handling disagreements and or dissatisfaction while you're in a meeting or having a discussion?
This one is a tough one, because since we have a different cultures, so first of all, what I do is I remain calm, then listen to others' perspective. So if they have something to say, I just listen first. Then, if given a chance, I'll bring up my opinions and suggestions calmly. So I do not what do you call this? I do not speak while they're speaking as well.
I see. And yeah, and for you, it's something that is really difficult since someone with your culture background is kind of hard to agree on something, is it?
Yeah, it depends on what's the topic, and because sometimes we have different culture, right? So we have different strategies as well.
Mm.
So maybe some of my colleagues have their own strategy, and I want my own strategy as well. So for that, we just exchange some ideas.
I see. Okay, so for the last question, I think Kimi, will you finish it off for us?
Okay, sure. Okay, Michael. Have you noticed any differences in resolving conflict involving individual of different gender? Like when you have a conflict between male coworkers or female coworkers, how do you manage to uh, fix the problem?
Come again, meaning your question is come again. Sorry.
Have you noticed any differences resolving conflict involving individual or different gender? Like when you solving a really challenging problem with your male coworkers,
Uh,
have you noticed the differences between when you manage to complete the
yeah,
challenge when against the female
Okay.
co-worker?
Okay, understand. Yeah, actually, I experienced that a lot since I work here. I noticed there's a big difference between men and women. So mostly men are very straightforward, meaning they speak what they think. So if they think of something, they just give the idea straight ahead. So for me, since I'm a man as well, I like
Mhm.
that approach with which is giving the straightforward ideas. Unlike the women are mostly likely to be collaborative, meaning they need someone to agree or someone to have their same opinion before giving their ideas. So it's like they must have a group first before they give you the ideas. Unlike the men that are straightforward,
Yes.
what we think is what we give, like that one.
Okay. Thank you.
I think
Okay.
I think that's about it. Kimi, do you have any more questions?
I think I already done with my question.
So I guess that's it for our interview here today. Michael, thank you so much for giving your time in doing
Yeah,
our
thank you.
interview.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Welcome.
And I think that's all for today. Thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, thank you.